Destination Texas is sponsored by Kent Elliott Roofing.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the Destination Texas special. I'm your host, Sonora Scott. Today we're going to look at some family-friendly and budget-friendly road trips you can take across Texas. Let's get started with some of the places I've gone so far. Where I-10 and Highway 277 meet, you'll find Sonora, Texas. It's home to cute shops, a historic courthouse, the Ice House Ranch Museum, and the Sonora Broncos. But there are several other animals you can learn about while you're here.
Hi, welcome to Eaton Hill Nature Center.
The Eatons were ranchers in Sonora. They owned the land, including this hill and house, and the mechanisms that supplied water to the city of Sonora. After several generations of Eatons owning the land, it was acquired for a new purpose in the early 2000s.
The house itself is over 110 years old. This room actually used to be the kitchen.
Brooke Wood, executive director of the center, says its new purpose is all about education, conservation, and preservation. There are hiking trails, bird-watching areas, and much more, including this museum. Some might be surprised to learn that there are a lot of fossils that have been found in the area. Most are aquatic. However, there's one that blows the rest out of the water.
We also have a mammoth tusk that was found on the Sonora Golf Course by a junior high student in 1991.
At the Eaton Hill Nature Center, you can learn all kinds of fun facts, like the opossum has virtually remained unchanged since the time of the dinosaurs. But it's not all about the past. There are plenty of other creatures in this house.
Everything from butterflies and cicadas to spiders, tarantulas, tarantula hawks.
In the back room, you'll see turtles, snakes, prairie dogs, and other animals that may be in need of some TLC. For this center, it's about balance and keeping the area and its inhabitants in the most natural state possible.
We're a very unique area where we're the Texas Hill Country and the Chihuahuan Desert meet, and we have animals from both ecosystems.
Wood says no matter where they're from, she always hopes visitors feel a new appreciation for West Texas wildlife. In Sonora, I'm Sonora Scott for Destination Texas. History buffs, Fort Chadbourne is your dream destination. The interactive displays will make you feel like you've been transported back in time. But if that still doesn't do the trick, the 1 million artifacts just might.
Hey y'all, welcome to Fort Chadbourne. Fort Chadbourne was established in 1852. We are the predecessor to Fort Concho in San Angelo. We're named after Lieutenant Theodore Lincoln Chadbourne, who was killed in the Battle of Resaca de la Palma in the Mexican War. We have the only restored Butterfield stage stop in the state of Texas. And then we have all kinds of things in here. All of this has been done with non-governmental funds, and in here we've addressed everything that was out at Fort Chadbourne. We try to address the Native Americans. You have military, you had buffalo hunting, and you had ranching. Then we've also found that we had 6 Medal of Honor recipients that served at Fort Chadbourne, so that's our tie back into the Medal of Honor section. This here is the Texas Medal of Honor. A lot of people aren't familiar that Texas has their own Medal of Honor. There are 12 recipients of the Texas Medal of Honor, and this is an unissued Texas Medal of Honor. Of course, the difference, Texas has theirs, and then you have the Medal of Honor. Then we had the 6 Medal of Honor recipients that served out here. We're very proud of all the stuff that's been done at Fort Chadbourne. We couldn't have done it without our volunteers and our donors. We hope everybody comes out and takes a peek at what's been done out here.
At Fort Chadbourne, I'm Sonora Scott for Destination Texas. Some people say there's nothing to do in a small town, but small towns may be just the place to escape. You'll definitely feel like you found an oasis here in Cristobal.
Cristobal is a little jewel sort of in the middle of West Texas.
It's really pretty out in Cristobal with, the big trees and the river.
Cristobal may be off the beaten path, and some may end up there by mistake. But once they arrive, they're quickly drawn in by the scenery.
You end up in Cristobal and you think you're already in the hill country, so It's just a beautiful place.
This small community is centered on just that. It's a front porch sitting, wave to your neighbors, slow down, say hi, and brush up on local history type of place. Along the main street, where traffic is sparse, you'll find Concho Coffee House. It's got an extensive menu with all kinds of treats and drinks. Plus, you can pick up some gifts, including local honey, stickers, t-shirts, and home decor. If you need something a little bit stronger, check out the Cristobal Vineyards. It's got 9 acres of planted grapes, a tasting room, patio, pizza, and oh yeah, lots and lots and lots of award-winning wine made in-house.
It's a long process to get, a 5-gallon bucket of grapes into a bottle of wine.
This sprawling 26-acre venue is a coveted spot for weddings. You may even get to wish a couple well on your visit. If you'd like to get in the action and help harvest grapes, you can do that too. Harvesting begins at the end of July and goes through August. Volunteers can help pick grapes and learn more about the winemaking process. Whether you're exploring the outdoors or just want to hang out with your favorite drink, there's a spot for you in this little gem of a town. In Cristobal, I'm Sonora Scott for Destination Texas. What great places to visit. We've got to take a break, but stay with us. We've got lots more to see coming up. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. We're continuing our trip across Texas in this travel special. Here's some more great locations I got to check out. If you're a sucker for succulents, well, this trip is for you because just outside of the city of San Angelo is Cactus Town. This town is run by its creator, who of course goes by
Cactus Mike.
He first got the idea for Cactus Town about 15 years ago, then officially opened it in 2012. He says it's still a work in progress, and he's in the process of building a stage for performers, a series of buildings that will take you back to the Wild West, a wedding venue, a bed and breakfast, and an RV park. You may be saying, that's a lot, but Cactus Mike says it's only the beginning for his visitors from across the globe.
It's just amazing to see the people that come here from all over the state, all over the world this year. We've had Brazilian visitors, Vietnamese visitors, people coming from just 6 hours, 8-hour drives to spend a couple hours here and buy plants and rocks and antiques. So that is what I dreamed of.
For Cactus Mike, Cactus Town is more than just plants, rocks, and antiques. It's a place for curiosity and creativity.
One of the biggest things is to let their wonders fly. Let their imagination go, because we're supposed to dream and we're supposed to create. And so I think if somebody gets a spark of inspiration from what they see here, that's really what I like for them to take away.
If all that inspiration makes you hungry, head down the road 8 miles to Miles, Texas. Frozen in Time is an antique store, pizza parlor, and frozen yogurt shop all in one. You can build your own pizza or select from their menu, then fill up on froyo while shopping for furniture and decor. This road trip is sure to pique the curiosity of visitors of all ages. In Miles and Cactus Town, I'm Sonora Scott for Destination Texas. San Angelo is quickly becoming an artist and photographer's paradise. Over the last several years, initiatives have added hundreds of art installations to public places within the city. Here are 5 great places full of photo ops that you can visit for free. The newest addition to the San Angelo art scene is the Pop Art Museum. The outdoor venue is full of exhibits from local artists. The objects of their focus range from contemporary to classic. It was actually an addition to an already popular location called Paintbrush Alley. Both exhibits were spearheaded by a group called Art in Uncommon Places. If you follow them on social media, you'll see what else they're up to and what new exhibits are coming soon. When it comes to photo ops, you can't help but get some close-ups on the Concho River. You'll see some art here too. The Riverwalk is home to several sculptures and mosaic pieces. It's also home to the Bosque, an area where you can have a picnic and take in the scenery. Something else San Angelo is known for is the Sheep Gallery. There are around 100 of these statues all over the city and beyond. A fun game to play is seeing how many you can take your picture with. The final stop on our tour is the International Water Lily Garden. This garden has hosted visitors from all over the world. And I'm sure you can see why. This exhibit has been deemed as one of the most premier and prestigious in existence. The best viewing times are in the morning hours before noon. From San Angelo and for Destination Texas, I'm Sonora Scott.
Today, these bells can be heard ringing off the walls of the Cisco Chamber of Commerce, or as some know it, the Community Center. But if we go back 100 years,
just to actually have something that we can hold on to from the past,
these red bricks will tell a different story. It was the year 1919 in the height of the oil boom, and Conrad Hilton was headed east to start his career in banking.
One of his buddies said, "Connie, if you want to make your fortune, go to Texas."
And so with $5,000 in his pocket, the young entrepreneur set his sights on Wichita Falls before eventually landing in Cisco.
So he come here to the Mobley Hotel to rest.
Where at the time the owner was renting rooms on 8-hour shifts. A full house when Conrad walked through its doors.
He said, "I tell you what, I want to get out in the oil field and make my own fortune. If you'll buy the hotel, then you can have my room."
And so in that moment, Conrad gave up his dream of banking, throwing his money into the hotel business, and you could say it definitely paid off.
He bought one in Abilene, in San Angelo, Wichita Falls, El Paso, Waco.
Continuing purchases all over the world, creating his own Hilton empire. But for those who stayed in Cisco, these rooms have become more than just a one-night stay, making the space not just a piece of the past.
You know, our roots start from our history,
but part of the future.
There's been weddings here, there's receptions here, there's anniversary receptions.
Each person becoming their own piece to a puzzle that's still being put together 100 years later.
It's just important that we continue those roots that are so deep, here in Cisco, to understand where we've been and where we've come from and where we want to be.
Those are some fun trips close to home, but don't go anywhere right now. We've got more places to show you right after this. Welcome back to our Destination Texas special. Now let's head to the Panhandle to check out what's on Route 66.
Over 2,000 miles across 8 different states, there's no question the historic Route 66 is well traveled.
Started out in Nashville.
I'm from Northern California.
But if you're making your way through the Panhandle, there's a couple of stops on the 66 where you can get your kicks. And one of those is a tourist's favorite. Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo represents the evolution of the iconic tail fin.
In 1974, Stanley Marsh III got with an art group out of San Francisco called the Ant Farm, got together and put 10 Cadillacs in the ground about 2 miles closer to Amarillo.
Property manager Brian Brumley says the ranch drives in over 1 million people a year.
So many pictures and lots of spray paint. People come out. I think there's a lot of just Route 66 feel here in Americana.
Actually, it's kind of cool to see everybody gets to see paint.
People come out and take pictures. I've seen people get married out here, people get engaged out here.
But if you're not getting hitched, you can drive up to the city of Shamrock, home to the U-Drop Inn and Conoco Tower, both built in the 1930s.
Oh, it's really cool. I mean, I'm really liking the small town vibe. I recognize it from a 10-block Gymkhana series they did last year.
And these stops are just a couple of timely tips for your next road trip.
Off the road, I guess you could call it quirks.
On the Route 66, I'm Sade LeRae for Destination Texas.
And while you're in the Panhandle, check out the Big Texan in Amarillo, where you'll find steaks as big as the Lone Star State.
You come through the Texas Panhandle, we ride horses to work, we all eat big steaks, and we all have ranches.
Bobby Lee is a second-generation owner of the Big Texan, a steakhouse and brewery that sits right off I-40.
We're seeing second and third and fourth generations of family come through. We're seeing grandparents bring their grandkids in with them. For 60 years of being open, we have a responsibility to the traveling public.
And over those years, Bobby has expanded the Big Texan into something even bigger.
You got your accommodations with the Big Texan Hotel, and it's an old Western-style hotel, and it has a Texas-shaped swimming pool. We have a shooting gallery for the kids, we have a full bar, and we have the world's best beer because we brew it here at the Big Texan.
And you can't come to the Big Texan without trying their big 72-ounce steak. The world-famous dish has attracted people from all over.
I'm from California. We searched it up how many it is, and it's a big thing that you have to eat.
Whoever can eat this dinner and get it for free at the Big Texan. And 60 years later, it's still the Mickey Mouse of the Big Texan.
And while California has Disneyland, Texas has, well, the Big Texan.
And yes, everything is bigger in Texas.
At the Big Texan, I'm Sharday LeRae for Destination Texas.
Stick around because we've still got several destinations to show you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our travel special where we're showing you some of the best locations in Texas. Now let's head way out west to the Big Bend area.
Texas's gift to the nation. Big Bend National Park is 800,000 acres of wonder and wildlife, and it's found about 200 miles from Midland.
It was established as a state park in the late 1930s. It took about 7 years to get this area established as a national park, and it became so essentially on the day of D-Day in 1944.
Here, people come from around the world to see the natural wonders of the park.
Overall, I think, it's just an incredibly beautiful place. Powerful experience for me.
With hundreds of hiking and biking trails.
Anywhere you go, keep your eyes peeled. You're liable to see just about anything.
I'm glad they came up with the window view trail, not just the window trail.
Yeah, that was nice. Little overlooks.
And wide open skies.
Yeah, we came out and we saw the Milky Way, the brightest I've ever seen it. I mean, it was casting shadows. It was insane.
Many experiencing the park from the comfort of their cars.
And maybe do some scenic driving in the comfort of your car during the heat of the afternoon.
And wildlife that you may not find anywhere else.
Big Bend has more species of birds, more species of reptiles, more species of cactus, and butterflies, and ants, and scorpions than any other national park, and more species of bats than any other national park. It's very hard to find black bears anywhere in Texas, but here in Big Bend we have a resident population in the Chisos Mountains.
Just make sure to stick to the trails and bring a lot of water.
You know, we recommend people have maybe a gallon per person per day as they're hiking around in the park, and then you know, when you get back to your car, you should have none of that water left. You should be drinking that water as you go. You can enjoy historical sites, you can enjoy amazing geology, you can get out and hike a trail, you can get out down along the river. There's just endless activities here.
In Big Bend National Park, for Destination Texas, I'm Chase Menendez. Trails on ancient mountains carved by horse hooves next to an oasis of a golf course. Near the border, 236 miles southwest of Midland, Lajitas Golf Resort is its own world.
It is just, the scenery is unparalleled.
And they said it's in the mountains of West Texas. I did not know Texas had mountains, but there they are.
While people come from all around the world for the golf course, the resort is much more than that.
You're pretty much free to do things, you know. You can go up in the mountains, you can go skeet shooting, you can go military combat shooting. I mean, you can go on a zip line, you can go paddleboard on the Rio Grande. How many people can say that?
There's like endless activities out here, and there's so many nature trails. Like, that's Big Bend right there. That mountain is Big Bend National Park.
But the golf course itself is especially unique for many reasons.
I would say the topography is very unique for Texas golf. One of our back tee on 15, you actually look to the north into Mexico, which is one of the few spots in the U.S. where you can say that.
Everyone comes out here to golf on the most beautiful golf course I've ever seen.
While the Lajitas Resort will have all of the fun and amenities you'll need, it's a quick getaway to a rugged but beautiful landscape.
Just this beautiful scenery never gets old. I didn't know Texas had this many hills. It's like mountains out here.
Just a completely unique experience from anywhere else.
Because this is like an oasis, adventure, fun outdoors. It's a little hot, but I'll take that over cold any day.
In Lajitas, for Destination Texas, I'm Chase Menendez.
That just may be my favorite part of Texas. Don't go anywhere because we've still got more Texas to show you. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for being a passenger on our road trip special. Now let's head even further west to the El Paso area.
A 2.5-mile hike to the top of this mountain, known as Mount Cristo Rey, leads you to a 29-foot statue of Christ. But there's more to this piece of limestone than meets the eye.
This is a project that was started in the early 30s, and it was by a priest that was assigned here to the Smelter Town Parish, and he had a vision to build a monument up here at the top of this mountain.
Ruben Escondon leads the Mount Cristo Rey Restoration Committee. He says the history of the borderland staple is known through the diary of a priest named Lourdes P. Costa. Costa's writings taking us back to when he looked at this mountain and had the idea to build what is now Mount Cristo Rey.
We encourage people that are interested in that history, interested in the artistic side, to come in and visit and come in and take a look. I mean, this is something that is unique to the U.S. There's very few monuments of this nature that occur.
Hiking to the top takes about 45 minutes. Multiple Catholic shrines can be seen along the way.
When you reach the top of Mount Cristo Rey, you can see 3 states and 2 countries all at the same time. Go ahead and take a look here. That fence that you see there, that's the border fence. On the right-hand side, you're looking at New Mexico. On the left, you're looking at the state of Chihuahua. If you go ahead and pan around here, you can see Texas.
Artistic value of what's up there. This is a world-class, world-renowned sculptor that built this monument, and unfortunately, because of the location, sometimes it's hard to get to.
This mountain is the site of 2 traditional pilgrimages every year. One is during Holy Week and the other is in October for the anniversary of when the monument was built. According to Escondon, those annual pilgrimages bring thousands of faithful to the borderland. In El Paso for Destination Texas, I'm Shelby Capp.
From a variety of animals to homemade cheese. Licon Dairy is a small farm in San Elizario, just a few minutes east of El Paso. Owners have been making fresh Acevedo cheese since the 1950s.
He really enjoyed living on a farm.
Angel Licon's grandfather decided to show others a peek into his life.
He had about 8 cows, and they would make a few packages a day. They'd take them to, they'd sell them door by door. It's an honor, it's a legacy that we have to fulfill, and they're big boots that we have to fill.
Angel Licon, the 3rd generation to continue the tradition. The cheese is made fresh 7 days a week, starting at 4 in the morning. First, the milk is pasteurized, then it is mixed with a special solution until the cheese is separated from the curd. It's heated until it reaches the right consistency. Separated into the perfect size, it's flattened with a tortilla press. Ten slices into the bag.
We use the same recipe for 60 years.
After you visit the grocery store to get yourself some cheese, you can come over and feed the animals at the petting zoo like Roger.
He's like a giant puppy. He doesn't realize that he's as big as he is, so he'll try and play with you.
Donkeys are waiting to get a treat from visitors, while ostriches and peacocks are showing off their feathers. And goats are hoping to get a little extra attention.
So we've had people come in from Canada. We have people coming in from all over. We had people last year from New Zealand.
The Licon family says it's the people who visit who make Licon Dairy what it is.
And the restaurant, they'll have dinner and we sit with them and talk with them about their travels and how different life is from over here, from wherever they're from.
Reporting in San Elizario for Destination Texas, I'm Susie Castillo.
Well, our tour across the Lone Star State may be over for now, but don't worry. You can find all these stories and more on our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Until our next trip, I'm Sonora Scott, and I'll see you down the road.
Destination Texas is sponsored by Kent Elliott Roofing.